Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here, coming at you with a long overdue episode for my World War I autograph project. And a while back, last year, I started to do a World War I project, collecting autographs from deceased veterans or those who had some association with World War I. And it's been a lot of fun so far, and I found a few good deals over the past couple months since I haven't done a video. And there's still a few more on the way, so I'll probably save those for a future video, just to be able to have some content for this project going forward. But picked up some nice ones that I hope you will enjoy. They weren't too terribly expensive or anything like that, and each has a cool piece of history to learn from them, and also just remember their memory and their service. So we will start off with this gentleman. This is an autograph paper. Might have been a portion of a letter signed by Henry Kendall. And Henry Kendall was a British actor who did serve during World War I. This is a picture of him from a movie he did. And Henry Kendall was born May 28th, 1897, passed away June 9th, 1962. He was an English stage and film actor, theater director, and an immaculately stylish revue artiste. Kendall was born in London in 1897 and educated at the City of London School. He made his first appearance on the stage in September 1914 at the Lyceum Theatre, playing a super in Tommy Atkins. He had a distinguished war career, serving as a captain in the Royal Air Force from 1916 to 1919. And on demobilization was awarded the Royal Air Force Cross, so he was a highly decorated soldier. He played the leading role of Reggie Ogden in the film The Shadow in 1933. Also starred in Alfred Hitchcock's Bravest Failure, Rich and Strange. The U.S. title of that one was East of Shanghai in 1931. Kendall dismisses his own cinematic work, perhaps because several of his films were quota quickies. So they were more shorter films. Back then, to film something would cost a lot of money. Yards and yards of film, literally, rather than now it's all like digital. So if you made a mistake and had to cut, then you lost a whole bunch of money for the film. But they weren't like as long as we expect on like an hour and a half to 2 hour films. They were much shorter. With the remark that he commenced film career in 1931 and has appeared in innumerable pictures, but Hollywood notes that his films included. And then I forgot. I guess I should have copied all his films he was in, but. Yeah, he was definitely a well-decorated soldier and a actor who was willing to put his country above his career. So that is really cool to get back, to pick up an autograph of him, not to get back. I'm so used to TTMing. So that is the first one. This one I've had for a little bit. This is an autograph of General Roy Hoffman. It's slightly smaller than an 8x10. And it says, to my friend, I believe it's Alva McDonald or something like that, with affectionate regards, Roy Hoffman. So very cool. Now, Mr. Hoffman was born June 13th, 1869, and passed away June 18th, 1953. So he was close, at least he might have been in his 90s. He lived quite a long life, honestly. 1869, 1953. It's either late 80s or early 90s. I'm trying to do quick math in my head. He was an attorney, judge, banker, newspaperman, and a United States Army officer in the early 20th century. So he had quite a huge resume there. He served in World War I, among other conflicts, and he received several awards for his service. He had a reputation as being a polymath or a Renaissance man. Hoffman joined the U.S. Army at the time of the Spanish-American War and was made a captain shortly after. He served as a colonel in the 1st Oklahoma Volunteer Infantry, and he served at the border with Mexico in that capacity. Hoffman was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General on August 5, 1917, and he assumed command of Fort Sill. Hoffman then assumed command over the 61st Depot Brigade at Camp Bowie, and he helped organize the 36th Infantry Division. Starting on December 3, 1917, Hoffman organized and commanded the 93rd Infantry Division. He took the division to France and served on the front lines until the division was merged into the 1st Infantry Division. He received several awards for his service, including the Distinguished Service Medal, Legion of Honor, Order of the Crown of Belgium, Order of the Crown of Romania, Order of the Crown of Italy, and the Order of Glory of Tunisia. After he returned to the U.S., Hoffman commanded Camp Shelby before being honorably discharged from the National Army in March 1919. Hoffman was recommissioned as a brigadier general in the Officers Reserve Corps. He retired as a major general of the Oklahoma Army National Guard in 1933 and commanding the 45th Infantry Division. He was called the father of the Oklahoma National Guard for his work in organizing and improving it. So very cool piece there. So another look at Mr. Roy Hoffman, circa 1918. Very cool. Then I picked up an autograph, like portion of a letter or index card of Newton D. Baker Jr., also known as Newton Deal Baker Jr., and it was signed, as you see, January 1933. Here is a picture of him. Now, Mr. Baker was born December 3rd, 1871, and he passed away December 25th, Christmas Day, 1937. He was an American lawyer, Georgist politician, and government official. He served as the 37th mayor of Cleveland, Ohio from 1912 to 1915, and as U.S. Secretary of War from 1916 to 1921. So he was the U.S. Secretary of War during World War I. Baker presided over the United States Army during World War I. Born in Martinsburg, West Virginia, Baker established a legal practice in Cleveland after graduating from Washington and Lee University School of Law. He became progressive Democratic ally of Mayor Tom L. Johnson. Baker served as a city solicitor of Cleveland from 1901 to 1909, before taking office as mayor in 1912. As mayor, he sought public transit reform, hospital improvement, and city beautification. Baker supported Woodrow Wilson at the 1912 Democratic National Convention, helping Wilson win the votes of the Ohio delegation. After leaving office, Baker accepted appointment as Secretary of War under President Wilson. He was one of several prominent Georgists appointed to positions in the Wilson cabinet. Baker presided over the U.S. military's participation in World War I. He selected General John J. Pershing to command the American Expeditionary Forces. That was definitely a very good choice, which he insisted act as an independent unit. He left office in 1921 and returned to Baker Hostetler, the legal practice he co-founded. He served as an attorney in Village of Euclid versus Ambler Realty Company, a landmark case that established the constitutionality of zoning laws. He was a strong supporter of the League of Nations and continued to advocate American participation in the League during the 1920s. Beginning in 1928, he served as a member of the Permanent Court of Arbitration. He was a candidate for the presidential nomination at the 1932 Democratic National Convention, but the convention chose Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And as the United States considered whether to enter World War I, President Woodrow Wilson named Baker Secretary of War because Baker was acceptable to advocates and opponents of American participation in the conflict. The post also required legal expertise because of the War Department's role in administering the Philippines, the Panama Canal, and Puerto Rico. The New York Times called him a warm supporter of the president. At 44, he was the youngest member of the cabinet. He died of a cerebral hemorrhage in Shaker Heights, Ohio, on Christmas Day, December 25th, 1937. So 4 years after this was signed. So cool piece of history there. And a couple more. Now, I didn't realize that this person had already done their research and sent me a whole bunch of stuff. So this is a signed, kind of like a back of a pamphlet or something, by Admiral Cato Glover. I printed this little 4x6 and they sent this huge 8x10, so we can see if that one will work better. But Admiral Cato D. Glover was born on the 15th of September in 1897. He was appointed to the U.S. Naval Academy in 1916, and he served some of his midshipman's time on the USS Mississippi, operating with the Atlantic Fleet at the end of World War I. After the war, Glover was commissioned an ensign, subsequently being promoted to the rank of admiral as a retirement on September 1st, 1957. In June of 1922, Glover reported to the Naval Air Station in Pensacola for flight training, being designated as Naval Aviator in December 1922, and reported to the USS Wright. Between the wars, Glover served various assignments with torpedo squadrons. In 1941, Glover joined the USS Saratoga as executive officer. The Saratoga joined the Task Force Assembly for the invasion of Guadalcanal, so he also served during World War II, and provided air bombardment and protection for the landing forces. In July 1943, he was made Assistant War Plans Officer to Admiral Nimitz, which I just watched the movie Midway, and Admiral Nimitz is in that movie. Good movie if you guys want to go check it out. Commander-in-Chief, Pacific Fleet. Officer to Admiral Nimitz, Commander-in-Chief, Pacific Fleet. During the service, he was awarded the Bronze Star Medal with Combat V for meritorious service during operations against enemy Japanese forces from July 1943 to July 1944. 1 year later, he was given command of the USS Enterprise and led the Big E attacks on the Bonin Islands. So that's pretty cool. The USS Enterprise is also in the movie Midway. His ship also took part in numerous attacks on the Japanese in the Philippines, Formosa, Okinawa, and Leyte. Planes from the Enterprise contributed significantly to the sinking of all 4 of the Japanese carriers in the Leyte area at the time. So he was also awarded the Navy Cross, Silver Star Medal, and received a ribbon for a Navy's unit citation awarded the Enterprise in 1944. He also served, looks like, for a portion of Korea, and he died in 1957. Oh wait, he died in 1988. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with this paper. It's got all jumbled up. So 1897 and 1988, so he lived for quite some time as well. But you can see there's the, down at the bottom there, whole list of his accomplishments there. So definitely a cool piece right there of Mr. Admiral Cato D. Glover. So that is everything. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's still, I think, up to maybe 4 to 5 more that can come in the next episode. So look forward to doing that hopefully next month or maybe sooner. We'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and learning some history with me. And it was a lot of fun to do some research on these guys and learn what they did, and not only keep their service and memory alive for all of us to know, and just bring about that appreciation for them. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.